Hello, my divinities. Welcome back. I'm very, very excited about today's collective. I feel like we've been getting some pretty interesting storylines here. So today, these are the decks I was drawn to. These are the ones we're going to be using. Please forgive my nail. I'm snowed in and I really don't have the energy to be fighting the snow and ice to go get my nail done. So, my nails. So we're just going to have to wait until the weather resumes a little bit of its normalcy. Hopefully I don't lose any more nails along the way. All right, so if I could turn this candle off. Hold on. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's see what's the energy. These cards, these oracle cards are very long. So I'm going to try and just pull one because otherwise I feel like we'll be here about 30 minutes just for the oracle. There we go. Deer of Delta. Interesting. All right, this is number 26. Okay. So it starts off by saying, without any force, you can overcome even extreme negativities. Your real nature is gentle, which is powerful in its own unique way. You do not need to become something you are not. You can confidently and effectively invoke spiritual protection from the light. You can never be dominated or bullied at a spiritual level, because the real you is always empowered and protected in the light. Some things can only happen when we let go at the deepest inner level. Regenerative healing is one of them. Shamans of old understood that to obtain transformational awareness, one has to sever themselves from the world as one knows it, to unlearn what one once knew, to be reborn. In that rebirth, a new understanding of vitality, clarity, and purpose can emerge. The shamanic realm is the realm of the delta brainwave, the state of deep sleep. Here, one is completely unconscious. There is temporary paralysis at this level, which allows for the deepest healings and renewal. Here, the gateway to the universal mind is entered and the precious recalibrating treasures of healing are gained. In Delta, we surrender completely to a great and powerful intelligence far beyond our understanding. At 0 hertz to 4 hertz, delta waves are the slowest and most stabilizing of the brainwaves. This is the state in which the body recovers from injury and the brain has a chance to check off its list of deferred repairs and healing and restore optimal function. This includes the capacity to learn and the healthy functioning of the immune system, physically and also emotionally, so we are not contaminated or confused by the emotional or psychic workings of the world around us. This oracle brings guidance that the healing you need cannot come from logical sources, but requires a deep letting go and restructuring from within. Consider what practices and people could help facilitate this process in your life. Consider how you may value and encourage deep restorative sleep and regular retreats as part of your lifestyle. The Greek nymph Taygete called upon her beloved goddess Artemis to protect her from unwanted advances from a powerful suitor. In response, the goddess transformed Taygete into a doe so she would be safe from harm. Taygete teaches us that we can become vulnerable like the gentle deer in the spiritual sanctuary of our devotion, protected by a greater source. Then, there is no need to become aggressive or harsh to defend ourselves from the aggression of another. We can let go and allow ourselves to be held. This is a way to ward off negativities without needing to disconnect from our softness and grace. Even if you are dealing with intense negativities from a particularly powerful opponent, Deer of Delta encourages you to call for spiritual intervention with complete confidence in the grace that will instantly and consistently be bestowed. Your strength and power can flow from your spiritual connection. If you have been advised to toughen up, you are encouraged to instead remain true to yourself and find your strength within. Interesting. Okay. So, let's go ahead and start the collective. What does this have to do with today's collective? Wow. right off the bat. The devil. Damn. Okay. Let's see. What does this have to do with today's collective? The King of Cups. The Page of Pentacles. The Lovers. Wow. Holy shit. Two of Cups. Okay. That was unexpected. With the Six of Pentacles. Nine of Cups. Justice. Ace of Cups. The High Priestess. Okay, I feel like this is for a very varied, like there's a variety. There's a variety of people that this could belong to, this collective, or they could resonate with this. Because on some levels, I feel like this is for people who are already in a relationship, especially those who are already married. And again, if you know that your marriage and your relationship does not correlate with what I'm saying, obviously, instead of fighting with me, I'm just going to tell you it's probably not your story, okay? But we do have, if you have started divorce proceedings, it could be your partner is trying to reconcile. They may be wanting forgiveness, but because whoever this King of Cups is, they are coming through with the Devil. You may not be wanting to reconcile. Although you may still love this person, I am seeing the Nine of Cups, which is more a free energy. It's more of a single energy, followed by the Justice, and then the Ace of Cups. Like, you may even forgive this person, but it's also, we got the Ten of Swords here. You may love, like, you may have this energy where you're like, look, I'm always going to love you. You're always going to be an important person to me. I forgive you. I do forgive you for everything you did, whatever that was. But I'm also done. And I don't want this. So, that's the energy that I felt the strongest when I looked under here. And from what I'm seeing over here, whatever the offer is, I'm gonna concur with you and say that you are better off not accepting it, because this person's coming through with Page of Pentacles. So even in their apology, it's not a lot. They may feel a lot because they are coming through with the King of Cups, but because it's got the Devil, this could also indicate that this is somebody who's very good at manipulating. Let's just be real. They're very good at adjusting the narrative to fit their needs. And I think that although you still have this person in your heart, you're like, nope. Let's see. Clarify the Devil for me. See, okay. I wasn't gonna say it, but now that it came out with the Devil, before I even clarify further, this did come out as the main card, right? It wasn't until further on that I said that they might be wanting forgiveness. But the main reason they may not want a divorce is because they don't want to split assets. And if you say, well, we don't have assets, maybe you have children, they don't want to pay child support. There's something here where the main reason that they don't want things to fall apart is financial. Unfortunately, I know, that's terrible. I'm sorry. This is a very different energy than what I picked up on yesterday. So, let's see. Look, what the fuck? The Devil again. And Nightmare of Crystals. There's the King of Pentacles. With the Empress, the Two of Cups. This is the Hierophant. Yeah. They're gonna do the most, because to them, you are the ideal companion. You're showing up as the Empress. In fact, you may even be more powerful than them energetically, because the Empress, remember, is all four queens, and they're showing up with two kings. And even then, only one of those kings is firmly established. This may be Like maybe there's somebody who's well off while you're with them, but if you split up from them, they're no longer well off, which is why something about you leaving is really throwing a wrench in their plans, financially especially. Unfortunately, I know that's stinky poo behavior, but it is what it is, you know? And so they're going to do the most to try and hold you back. Because if you notice, what do we see? What do we see in common here? What do we see in common? We see the Empress, because it says the ethereal, but this is the Empress. We see the Empress showing up as a mermaid with long flowy hair. And who is it that's hanging down? Oh, it's also a mermaid with long flowy hair. So this is clarifying the devil energy, but in the overall energy with the Two of Cups and the Hierophant, this is going to be somebody who's like, you're holding my heart. You're, okay. In all fairness, because we do have the Two of Cups and the Lovers, I'm not going to say that they don't care for you. I'm not going to say that they don't have feelings for you. But I've got to be clear that this is someone who feels a little mercenary in their emotions. Like the king, look at the yell, their mouth is open wide to express all these emotions because the finances, you're hitting them where it hurts, which is their finances. So they'd rather you sacrifice yourself in this connection instead of, I don't know what that means. If I'm looking at it objectively, because again, I don't know whose story I'm picking up on today. The Page of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles is a huge leap. So it could be that you're in some sort of this could be like an arranged marriage, and maybe there is some level of affection, there is some level of union, but the commitment isn't really there. I'm not gonna try and read every single card that comes out because we'll take forever, but I want to read the major arcanas at least. So let's read the Hanged Man or the Hanged One, because that's a mermaid, and then we'll read the Devil. So this card says, change in perspective, comfort in discomfort. The Hanged One is suspended, looking at things from an unexpected angle. It may be time to put a halt to things and take a step back, looking at them from a new perspective. You'd be surprised by how much you can learn from a momentary pause and change of view. Don't get too comfortable though. Hangings can quickly turn dark. Before we move forward with the fact that the Devil came out twice, like devil on top of devil, this feels like somebody who's going to try and persuade you that you're just looking at it from the wrong angle. That you need to look at it from this angle. And something that stood out to me, comfort and discomfort. They want you to get comfortable with whatever it is that they're doing that you're uncomfortable with. Because you're clearly you're clearly walking away. And they're trying to do that thing, you know, that example I give where you put a frog in the water and you slowly boil it to death. This person wants to slowly incorporate you into things that they're comfortable with, whatever that means. Like, you know, I'm not here to shame anybody. I believe in polyamorous love. I do know that exists. Maybe not all of you are into that, and that's okay. This person may be into that, and to you, that's just not your style. That's not what you're into. And maybe you tried it and you're like, I can't do it. I may love this person, but this is driving me crazy. That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to accept everyone's lifestyle, especially if you gave it a try and you figured this isn't for me. This person may be trying to force you to accept their lifestyle because they don't want to lose you, but they also don't want to leave their lifestyle behind. Let's look at the Devil. Okay, so this one, oh, look at that. Addiction, shame. The Devil represents the chains that wrap around your throat and drag you down into the darkness. Hold on. Oh no, not again. I was like, where's that smell coming from? I put the Palo Santo in the ashes, and I think I did what I did the other day, and I lit the whole. But you know what? That day, I remember saying, this is kind of feeling like there must be a lot of cleansing that needs to be done. Yep, I lit the whole thing on fire. Oof. That's hella smoke. Let's hope it turns off pretty soon, now that I've given it a good little toss. I was like, where's that smell coming from? Ah, okay, that tells me that you guys need to cleanse, like cleanse. Like rosemary. Use black pepper and cloves, and either create this little bundle that you can burn, or buy those oils and create some spray. Like heavy cleanse, guys, because somebody over here is doing some fuck shit. Okay, back to where we were. Represents addiction and shame. The devil represents the chains that wrap around your throat and drag you down into the darkness. It's the painful, tormenting cycles you can't break out of, whether it be toxic relationships, binging, or addiction. The devil is the true evil that lives inside, and it's time to break the chains that aim to destroy you. So remember how yesterday, the one thing that I do remember saying yesterday that kind of correlates here, I said, we're the ones that decide who we listen to, right? I've mentioned that I believe, and this is my personal belief, I don't think I've ever seen anybody else say anything like this. So I don't know if I'm just crazy or I just see something others don't. I don't know. Only time will tell. I believe that angels and demons are the same entity, but you are seeing two completely different sides of each entity. So I've also mentioned that every decision we take either spins us upward or it spins us downward. Sometimes it's on the daily karmic wheel. Sometimes it's on the lifetime karmic wheel. This is feeling a lot like that. It feels like this person, I'm going to give you an example. There's, and I mentioned this page a lot, Extra AF. She talks about some of the things that I talk about. We're still in not complete agreement in some things. So I can't say I support everything she says, and she'll probably not support everything I say. But one of the things that I do agree with her, she treats them like two different entities, but she does get the same point about how they reflect off of each other. And she was mentioning the case of Jeffrey Dahmer. And she said how Jeffrey Dahmer was known for what? Cannibalism, right? Well, when he went to prison, he was baptized. Apparently that ejected that spirit out of him. And it went to somebody who was in a close cell to him. And that person ended up killing Jeffrey Dahmer. But they used that spirit in a different way than Jeffrey Dahmer. They didn't turn into a cannibal. The other side of that spirit is known for writing books, for being literate and sharing knowledge. So same spirit, two completely different reactions, even though it was the same person that killed Jeffrey Dahmer in prison. So I feel like whoever this person is, this is what I'm feeling. They have listened to the dark side of their guide instead of the lighter. Because again, it's not. There's no such thing as right or wrong when it comes to shadow and light. Okay, that's why shadow work is not scary. So I'm not going to say that the lighter part of that demon is the best part, because that's not what it is. It's about how you use those things. For example, cannibalism sounds horrible until, maybe it's literally for survival. Maybe that's all that's left. Then, I don't know, right? Each person would have to make that decision based on how comfortable they are with that choice. But for the most part, both of those attributes can be found in both the shadow and the light. That's why her and I disagree, because she puts it like all the negative attributes are shadow, are the positive and powerful ones are in the light. And I disagree with that. I think that they're mixed. So apart from that, I think that this person is definitely listening to the lower level, the lowest spectrum of whatever that energy is my point. and they can't seem to break out of it. And a lot of it has to do with greed, for sure. Greed. Six of Pentacles came out twice. And it may have to do with other addictions. But for sure, it has to do with money. Clarify King of Cups. Oh, Massacre of Daggers. Yikes. The Moon. The Hierophant. The Hermit. With the Sun. Okay, this just got a little disturbing. Remember those readings that I was putting out some time ago where I was saying you really need to be careful because, I don't know, well, I kind of got, again, it's a spectrum. So I feel like that's going to be for a very few of you, but for a very few of you, this is somebody, and you'll know if this is your story because your intuition is already pinging, okay? If you do not feel this energy around you, it's most likely not your story. Do not freak out, okay? But I am getting the Sun and the Moon. So again, this definitely feels like a soulmate. This feels like somebody that you connect with on a deep, deep level. And yet, you may love this person. You may sincerely feel like for when you married them especially, you felt like they're the one for you. And now you're kind of like, no, they're not. I might have loved them. I learned lessons from them and I'm moving on now. But this person may be one of those, I don't want to use the word psycho because that's a little too strong. But maybe not. There is the potential that they may want to take you out instead of you leaving. But the only upside that I saw here is that it will be spiritual in nature. They may want to use spiritual means, either one, to forcefully blind you, because you see how the daggers are going into her eyes, and make you comply with what they want, or two, to just take you out. But I didn't see the Death card, so I think the former will be more likely than the latter. I think it'll be a lot more likely that they will use magical means to kind of force you to stay. But this one is a lot more sinister than what came through yesterday, which is why, again, a spectrum, right? There's spectrums. This spectrum is on level 10. It's a lot darker. This is not a cheerful energy. But I do notice that most of the energy, like the oracle cards, the tarot, it's like a white and gold energy. And although this has white and gold, there's also black. So I feel like this is going to be describing this person's energy a lot clearer. Whereas you might be seeing them in this energy, or this is how they present themselves. So you still see the devil. You just don't see to what degree this person has the devil a hold of them, if that makes sense. Because, yeah, this is... The marriage somehow means a lot to them. So I'm trying to think of what that could mean. So maybe you are the one that carries money. Maybe you come from a wealthy family. Maybe you're the one that has good credit, and without you, their business falls apart. Maybe you're the one that has, I don't know, there's something you have. There's something you have that turns them into this really calculating. You see both of these, what they have in common? What do they have in common? I'm going to tell you what I see. What I see is that both of these are faking. The clowns definitely represent putting on a face that you don't feel inside, right? Which is why they have to paint it on. Whereas here, this is like, oh yes, everything's great. Look at those eyes. No, it's not. So while this person is trying to win you back, they might try and put on some weird ass face about how much they've changed. And especially with coming through as King of Cups, that might mean that that's not their normal MO. Maybe their normal behavior is King of Swords, King of Pentacles, which is why you were disconnecting. Now they're coming through all warm, emotional. So I think that one of the reasons that this is coming on the heels of yesterday's reading is because some of you may think it's the past person. That if the person from the past is putting some sort of magic voodoo, hoodoo shit on you, that means that they love you. No. If it's the past person, no. Because also in yesterday's reading, I did not get any past energies. Whereas here, it is definitely somebody that you're either married to in spirit or married to legally. I think for the majority of you, it's marriage in the legal term, but it could also just be a spiritual contract that you two have. Because this person feels like they're in some dark void without your light, which again is very different from the energy we got yesterday. So let's read the moon. The moon. Darkness, unconsciousness. You are lost in the night with only moonlight to guide you. Not everything is clear. Shadows dance around you and noises come from just out of sight. But with the moon over your head and your intuition leading you, you are capable of finding your way through. There is comfort in the dark and in the unknowing. Things only come to light when it's time for them to do so. Hold on, because this thing did not turn off. Like it did, but then it didn't. I guess I forget that ashes can be relit. Oh! It's symbolic, guys. It's symbolic. I literally have a bowl of ashes, okay? Because this is where I put all the ashes so that later on I can make magical stuff with it. This love, whatever was felt, is gone. It's literally just ashes. But even ashes can be relit for a time. They will eventually go out, but not before a lot of smoke is created. That's symbolic. This person wants to light the ashes. If nothing else, at least make you feel like things can be rekindled. But there's nothing there. There's no substance to it. Just keep that in mind, okay? Now, sorry, I got distracted. I was like, where's that smoke still coming from? With the moon here, I'm telling you, this person feels like you are the sun to them. You are this golden white light. And they may have some of it, but most of them is very dark. Most of them needs your guidance. They need your, I'm getting that song. I did not think I'd be getting a song, but I do think that they're going to be trying to get romantic. Maybe that's why a song is coming through. Let's see, I think it's Ellie Goulding. It says, I need your love. Yeah, it's Calvin Harris with, I think it's Ellie Goulding. Anyways, it says, I need your love. I need your time. When everything's wrong, you make it right. I feel so high. I come alive. I need to be free with you tonight. I need your love. And it says, I take a deep breath every time I pass your door. I know you're there, but I can't see you anymore. And that's the reason you're in the dark. I've been a stranger ever since we fell apart. And I feel so helpless here. Watch, my eyes are filled with fear. Tell me, do you feel the same? Hold me in your arms again. And then again, the chorus keeps playing. And the next part says, now I'm dreaming, will ever find you now. I walk in circles, but I'll never figure out what I mean to you. Do I belong? I try to fight this, but I know I'm not that strong. And I feel so helpless here. It keeps going, the same chorus. And then it says, all the years, all the times, you have never been to blame. And now my eyes are open, and now my heart is closing. And all the tears, all the lies, all the waste, I've been trying to make a change. And now my eyes are open. That's what they're going to tell you. That's them being romantic. But in them expressing how much they need you, they are exposing their codependency. They are exposing that they don't know how to be a functional, healthy, well-adjusted adult without you, which is of course not only codependent, but from what I can tell, dangerous to you. Let's look at the Hierophant here. Now, for those of you who you know that you're not married to this person, that might be why the Hierophant keeps showing up. They may want to propose marriage to you. Let's see. Let's look at the Hierophant. Like if it still resonates and you're like, but I'm not married, they want to be married. This is, oh my God, why did I keep thinking this is the Hierophant? This is the Emperor. Oh my God, even worse, even worse. Okay, so it represents structure, authority. The rigid is an unwavering force and structure that is built all around us, setting boundaries. It's time to rely on your own strength and build your own boundaries. Take control of your fate. Don't allow yourself to disappear into the shadows. Be the protagonist in your story. Guys, if you felt the need to walk away from this person, that's because their spirit guides are trying to turn them into the Emperor, because they may have a lot of characteristics of the Emperor, right? They have so far shown up as the King of Cups, King of Swords, King of Pentacles, but they're most likely a very low vibrational Emperor. And you being around them gave them some sort of spiritual light. And instead of learning from you, I feel like they're absorbing your light. They feed off of you. And their guides are like, no. But they're not listening. Because again, they're listening to the darker force instead of the higher force. Well, instead of the balance, because it should be a balance. When balanced is when it turns into the higher force. So they're turning the Emperor energy into a controlling thing. It's more about, it says they want to create, this is what I got in my head, okay? They're trying to create an unwavering force and structure all around you so that you can't leave. They don't want you to rely on your own strength. They don't want you to set boundaries. They don't want you to take control of your fate. So everything that they should be learning from you, they are trying to stop in you. Because it's ironic, this light that they admire is there because you are independent from them, because you don't need them the way that they need you. But they also resent that you don't need them the way that they need you. Let's look at the Hermit. I don't know if y'all can hear the water. Can you hear the water? Hopefully not. The Hermit represents contemplation, quiet. The Hermit lives completely alone, deep in the woods, focused on studies and growth. It may be time to leave the safety of your current social circles and take time to focus inwards. Instead of looking outwards at what is going on around you, find comfort in your own company. Here's where I know that this is a mix. On one hand, it is the collective, because you're fine. You're fine without this person. You may love them. You may, carry a piece of them in your heart, but you don't need them to survive. And if you are in a grieving process, you're stepping away from everything and everyone to process this loss. All they feel is darkness when you're not around. Like you're the light that guides their path. So they also feel isolated, but in a very different way than you do. You're doing it purposely, right? There's a purpose behind it. There's a consciousness and awareness behind it. For them, it's moon energy. It's like they're lost. They are completely, when the light just turns off and you don't know where you're standing, and you start touching everything around you trying to find the light. That's them. That's them right now. Oh, I didn't read the sun. Let's read the sun. Because now I'm looking at this like y'all's face like, girl. Look, upright represents clarity and truth. When the sun rises after a dark, cold night, everything comes to light. The glare enters your window and all the monsters gain form. The sun brings clarity and forces you to face the truth, whether it be favorable or unfavorable. So you've been calling this person out on their behavior. You've been letting them know, hey, this needs to change, this needs to improve, you need to grow in this. And not only do they kind of resent it, but they also know that you're not wrong. So it's almost like, no, don't leave. Even if you call me out, keep calling me out, but don't leave. I don't know, guys. This is very different. Very, very different from yesterday. This is a much darker energy. And it's ironic because yesterday's deck, the Orisha deck, it can get dark as hell. But even the darkest cards that came out were very lighthearted. Whereas here, this is a very light deck. And yet the energy feels so much heavier. So pay attention. I think your intuition and discernment are definitely going to be needed, because something that I want to remind you is that we've also been getting a lot of indications that somebody coming to you who may look scary is actually not. I think that there's going to be something about their image. In yesterday's reading, there's something about their image that might seem scary, but they're really not. And same thing here. This person might look very innocent. They might look very, that perspective that people share where, oh, maybe this person's blonde and blue-eyed, and you correlate that with holiness, with, innocence. They're not innocent. Whereas yesterday's person may be dark-haired or dark-skinned, and they may look, or they may be alternative dresser. They may seem scary in some ways, and yet they're a total teddy bear on the inside. Does that make sense? Something about that. There's something about that here that we need to pay attention to. Make sure to use your discernment, okay? All right, I'm going to stop this part here because it's already been 36 minutes. I don't want to make it too long for part one. If you got here this far and you want to, help with the algorithm, the emojis that I put in the title will be the emojis that, kind of go with the flow of the reading. If you want to contribute, drop those down in the comments below. And if you are on Patreon, then I will see you on part two. Bye-bye.